Okay, this video is going to teach us how to do addition of base 2 numbers. So first of all, let's take a look at what is the basic concept of the base 2. So this is actually a comparison of numbers between base 10 and base 2. So base 10 are the numbers that we usually count. So for example, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And with 1, it actually corresponds to 1 in base 2. So the next number will be 2 in base 10. It will actually correspond to 10 in base 2. 3, which corresponds to double 1. 4, it goes on to 100. Because in base 2, you only have 1 and 0. For number 5, it corresponds to 101. Number 6, it corresponds to 110, 111. And the next one number will be 1000, 1001, 1010, 1011, 1100, and followed by 1101. So in this case, you can roughly know the next subsequent numbers of the base 2 based on this concept. So now let's say if we have 113 plus 8, so how do you add these two numbers together based on the base 10 concept that we normally do in school? So firstly, you have 8 plus 3. So what is the answer for 8 plus 3? It is 11. However, you need to use this 11 minus 10. You get a 1 here. So therefore, your 1 will be here. And your 10, okay, you have to add 1 here. So that's how you get 11 here. So this 1 plus 1 equals 2. And the next digit, you just write it down as 121. And therefore, the answer will be 121 in the base 10. So this is the normal addition in base 10 that we normally do since primary school. So what if you have base 2 addition numbers? Here I have 1001 plus 11. Okay, so for the first digit here, 1 plus 1, in fact, it is equals to 2, right? But this 2, you need to minus 2. Reason being that for base 2, you don't have the number 2 here. So therefore, you take 2 minus 2, you get a 0. That's why you put a 0 here. And you need to add 1 to the next digit here, or next value here. So therefore, you get another 1 plus 0 plus 1 equals to 2 again. So therefore, if it is a 2, you need to minus 2 to get a 0. So therefore, you are putting 0 here with a 1 again here. So the next step will be 1 plus 0 equals to 1 and 1 here. And your final answer will be 1100 in the base of 2. Next, we move on to another questions. 10011 plus 11. So 1 plus 1 equals to 2. And this 2, you need to minus 2 to get a 0. And you need to add 1 to the next value here. Okay, so 1 plus 1 equals to 2. And this 2, you need to minus by 2 to get a 0 here and put a 1 on top here. Here goes another tricky part here. Since you have 1, 1, 1, so basically it equals to 3. So however, we need to minus 2, okay, since it is more than 2. So 3 minus 2, you get a 1, which is here. And you need to add 1 to the next value here, which is 1. So 1 plus 0 equals to 1, 0, and 1. So the final answer will be 10110. So the next one is a subtraction of base 2 numbers. So here we have 70 minus 3 in the base 10 number. So here we know that 0 you can't minus by 3. So therefore you are actually borrowing 10 from the 7 here. So therefore this 7 becomes a 6 and your 0 becomes a 10. Therefore you'll be getting 10 minus 3, you get a 7. And followed by the number 6 here. So the answer will be 67 in the base 10. So what if you have a base 2 number subtraction? So let's say if you have 110 minus 101. So because 0 you can't minus 1, therefore you need to borrow the value from this one here. So therefore this will become a 0. And here you have a 2 here. Okay. 2 minus 1 equals to 1. So therefore the answer will be 1 in the base 2. So here we have 1110 minus 11. So because 0 you can't minus 1, therefore we are borrowing the values from here. So therefore this you have to change it to 0 and followed by this equals to 2. So now you can actually minus 2 with the 1 to get a value of 1. And the next one will be, since this 0, you can't minus this one, you need to borrow value from here. And therefore, this will become 0. This will become a 2 here. So you get 2 minus 1 equals 1. And lastly, you get a 0 and the 1 here. Therefore, your answer will be 1011.